During my pursuit for justice, I heard someone say, "Poor him, look what they're doing to him." I remember thinking, if I had the chance to answer them, I'd say, "Don't cry for me, but if you must, cry for your friends and for your families. Don't cry for me, but if you must cry, then cry for justice and liberty." These were the words written in a poem given to me by a homeless man that I encountered last month. A man who has been living in the back of his car for the past decade. My heart was touched by his story and his living condition. Meeting him has inspired me to talk about homelessness, this serious issue we face in our city. Americans living homeless are commonly mischaracterized by linking them to criminal activities, drug abuse, and laziness. But these are stereotypes that hurt more than help. We must understand the human being behind homeless figures, so that we can make educated choices on how to reduce the number of people living on the streets. The McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act defines homeless as the following. Homeless is the condition of a person or persons lacking a fixed, regular, and adequate night residency. According to Wikipedia, homelessness emerged as a national issue in the 1870s. Many homeless people lived in emerging urban cities like New York City. Into the 20th century, the Great Depression of the 1930s brought forth an epidemic of poverty, hunger, and homelessness. There were 2 million homeless people migrating across the United States. Since then, homelessness has continued to be a national problem and has increased in the United States after the Great Recession that took place during the late 2000s and early 2010s. Now moving into a more local issue, the homeless population in Las Vegas has doubled in the past decade, bringing those numbers to about 12,000 people in and around the city without a fixed address. According to journalist Steve Kaniger, Las Vegas has the 4th highest rate of homelessness in the USA. He also indicates that for every 10,000 people, 50 are homeless individuals. These statistics paint a better picture for us, allowing us to understand the rapid increase of homelessness in our city, and also the enormous number of human beings without a home. Not all homeless are homeless by choice or because of a personal failing, as some people might believe, but many are in the streets due to structural factors like the economic system, legal system, political system, cultural system, and others such as family, religion, law, and many more. For example, as mentioned in a story written by Bouchard, Jessie, a middle-aged Native American woman, drinks with other minority groups members in the public park. Her recent homelessness seemed connected to a tragic accident in the park. She found comfort with other members of minority groups who made fast friends while drinking and passing the time. To the typical person, most people living on the streets are due to laziness or personal choice. But there are many people living in the streets who, due to an accident that affected their physical abilities, can no longer perform their duties at work, becoming a liability to their company, ending up being fired. Without an income, they find it difficult to pay for their housing, and sadly, just like Jesse, the streets, the alcohol, and the homeless community becomes their way of life. With this in mind, I would like to present what some of the homeless community have to say in regards of living in the street.
5 times I've been arrested on the left side.
Oh, you want to show me the cut?
They're looking pretty good right now, but my head has scabs all over it. Last weekend, yeah, they roughed me up pretty good. This guy beat this girl up there at the other end of the park. So I hit him one time. They called the cops on me. So I go to jail for him beating a woman. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what the government is doing for you?
Yeah. It's pretty sad, huh?
I would think so, yeah.
You know, it's not the first woman he's beat up. I just took it upon myself to, take care of my mom house. And before I made it back down here, 3 of them tackled me and roughed me up, and now I got some serious charges. Yeah, I got against a police officer and assault against Kurt, and all I was doing was protecting Cindy and Donna. So, pretty sad.
Right. How long you been staying out here like this?
I'm going on 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah, my wife said there's a lot of work here. She come here, she started using drugs, and she took off. She's somewhere in the city, but kind of left me hanging.
Yeah.
So I stay in the park. So, but I try to do what I can.
Right.
The people that feed us give me work. It'd be a day or 2 here and there, but this is what I try to do to try to make it, besides that, to survive.
Right.
So, without stealing.
And where were you originally from?
Utah.
Utah. And I'm assuming in Utah you had a job, you had a house,
Yeah.
you were living okay.
I went from Utah making $28 an hour. I went from Wyoming making $40 an hour. And we've lost like 215 miners, coal miners. Yeah, we lost like 215, 220. And so she asked me to walk away. So I walk away. 11 years ago, it'll be 12 years in August, that we lost 9 miners, and they were our friends. And she wanted me to leave, so I left. She says, I'll do construction with you if you'll walk away. I was making $40 an hour. I had three more raises that year. That's a lot of money a year, mine. And I did it for her. We went to Arizona, $24 cut in pay. But
nothing. And that's true statement fact. From when I came back from Vietnam, after I've been shot and killed, and they're supposed to put you in a house, right? And they don't. 9 of my buddies, and all of us, 9 of us, are still waiting for houses. And they're out here holding the sign too. But we're in different parts of town, And we all meet up, and then we all go separate ways, and then we all meet up. But yeah, it's rough, bro. You might even find a couple of them down there.
And I did it for her. We went to Arizona, $24 cut in pay. But God's still in my life. It's tough.
I bet you never thought you would be here, huh?
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah. This is the last place I thought it'd be. Oh, it's tough. And the only place I got work besides people pulling me off the street is manpower. I got the people that feed us, and they'll give me a day or 2 to pay me $50 an hour when the work comes in. So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Well, then the guy comes on at 2 o'clock. When he comes on at 2 o'clock, what, 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock almost, yeah.
Yeah. He usually hits this corner at 2:30. He's arrested me 5 times. And he ain't got nothing better to do. Metro.
Unfortunately, according to Las Vegas Municipal Code 13.36.055A6, the Las Vegas City has tried to lower the number of those living on the street in probably the most inhumane way possible, in my opinion, by explicitly making an offense to feed the homeless, where those found guilty of such offense must pay a fine of up to $1,000 or a jail term of up to 6 months or both. I don't think the city should penalize those that try to alleviate the problem by taking the matter into their own hands by displaying kindness and love when feeding the homeless. Yet, I agree that by feeding the homeless or handing out a buck or two, we are not going to resolve the homelessness crisis that is getting out of control in Las Vegas. However, we contribute to this issue by labeling and mischaracterizing these individuals. As a city, we should be doing far more than just creating rules and laws in an attempt to exert control over those without a fixed address. These are cruel ways our city has tried to fix the homelessness, getting very little done. Rather than penalizing homelessness, together we should push forth legislations in favor of the homeless community. We need to approve legislations that would accommodate them with temporary housing and would help them meet with potential employers. This help should be available to those willing to stay absent of illegal substances or alcohol. Homelessness doesn't just affect those on the streets. It affects entire communities since it devalues house pricing and it brings drugs and crime to the neighborhood. In many cases, we even see squatters taking empty properties and turning them into a place of their residency. More important than the economic toll of homelessness, we should all care as a city since the homeless are also part of the city we call home. Leaving this issue unattended puts 12,000 lives at risk of being incarcerated, addictions, losing touch with reality, or even taking their own lives. That is if we decide to do nothing about it. Today, it's some stranger using the concrete floor as a cot, but tomorrow it would be your neighbor, your friend, your sibling, your son, yourself. The truth is, we are all on one great loss away from similar circumstances. So let us be a helping hand to those that are at their most darkest hours by donating our time or our money to organizations that help the homeless, such as Las Vegas Rescue Mission, the Shed Tree, or Safe Nest, just to mention a few. But most importantly, by being a voice for those that have no voice, those we call homeless. Please let us not make the same mistake many do while driving down the highway by labeling the homeless, but let us do as the old proverb teaches, by not just giving them a fish, but also by teaching them how to fish.